Good morning, beautiful viewers, and welcome to Ways Breakfast. Hashtag What Are You Saying? It's a beautiful Thursday morning, and on this platform, we explore young and vibrant perspective concerning things that concerns us all greatly. And today, like I always say, would not be any different. Of course, I am your anchor for today. My name is Oluchi Precious Omenka, and I brought the full squad with me. Hello, ladies.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. The week has been so fast. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think
I
the
agree.
month on its own has been pretty fast.
This is Thursday already. I remember when it was Sunday.
I
And
mean,
it's Thursday already.
I think June has been pretty fast.
Yeah,
I
it
think
can
June.
Where are we running to?
June.
I like it that way though.
I know.
You're pulling your dreams faster, then you're getting there.
So how's the week been for you? How have you been generally?
Fine. I mean,
How many of
okay,
you are still using
surviving.
tomatoes to cook stew in this place?
What the Yoruba in me is now taking charge. So more pepper.
More pepper.
Odo.
Who has tried that cucumber stuff that's been really?
I'm not sure
God
I'm ready
bless
to
you, because I
explore
saw that too, and I think I was speaking to someone yesterday,
can't
and I'm
try it.
like,
I tried garden eggs,
Eh?
and it worked out fine.
I think I'll
Alhamdulillah.
just stick to
What?
vegetable sauce or
I
something.
think I
get-
will just stick to more of pepper than I
Pepper.
will feel like I'm making a weight loss soup, you know. I didn't come on by everything, so it feels
Oh
like
my
I'm
God, I
trying
can't,
to burn
I
all
can't
my
wait for
calories.
things to really get better and go back to our tomato stew. You know, the Igbo people, we like to put a lot of
do you
tomato
get a
in
lot
our
of
stew.
tomato?
What's
Aye.
pepper?
Because
Sorry.
and there's
I can't
just
help
this
you guys.
mentality that tomato has a lot of impact when it comes to like health and all of that. So
Hopefully, God, please answer our prayers and let us get back on our feet.
Amen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look through headlines across Nigerian newspapers. Stay with us.
First of all, your lack of sleep is affecting your appetite. Okay? Because you not getting enough sleep is actually affecting your hormones, the hormones that, that regulate your appetite, your hunger and satiety. Do you understand? So your lack of sleep is already causing havoc in terms of your weight, in terms of your eating, in terms of your productivity, in terms of your brain power. So many things. You're more irritable, you're snappy. It's affecting relationships. It's affecting so many things. So our lifestyle is actually not helping us. And so but what we do, we have to be intentional. So that's the first thing, is to be intentional and say, you know what, I cannot kill myself. I cannot kill myself. I have to actually take my health and my life into my hands. Okay, so that's first step. So.
All right, it's still Ways Breakfast. Hashtag What Are You Saying? And right about now, we're going straight to the major headlines across the globe. But remember to follow us on our social medias, subscribe to our YouTube channel, drop a comment. You can join this conversation through the WhatsApp number displayed on the screen and be part of this. Let's go straight to the Punch newspaper. The major headline reads, Dangote Refinery. Crude supply crisis threatens oil investment, operators warn federal government. And federal government urged to deepen investors' confidence. Dangote allays fear over refinery fire. Tinubu backs NDLEA to end drug abuse and trafficking. And below that, it says the National Assembly resumes, plans 2023 budget implementation extensions. How we killed commercial sex worker for ritual, says suspect. PDP candidate receives APC defectors and vows to unseat Ayola Datiwa. Above the major headlines, it says stress test on banks necessitated recapitalization, says CBN. Government ASU meets to avert strike in universities, and federal government banks begins talk on nationwide broadband rollout. The last one here says 423 billion naira theft. El Rufai sues Kaduna Assembly and challenges probe. And that's what we have on the Punch. The one that catches my attention will definitely have to be the government ASU, stuff for reasons best known to me. So they're meeting again, and it is to revert the impending strike that's looming. Let me read the whole details of the story. It says the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities on Wednesday held a meeting to avert an industrial action by the union. And the parley, which started about 4:30 p.m. at the Ministry of Education's office in Abuja, ended around 6:40. The ASU president told journalists that the meeting was necessary as the present administration had spent 1 year in office without addressing issues affecting the university system. And both sides expressed optimism, which is very key here, that with the commencement of negotiations, all outstanding issues would be amicably resolved. However, they threatened to embark on strife over various issues, but speaking with our correspondent, said that the negotiation process had begun and hoped that the minister would follow up on what had been agreed on. I just want to ask, I mean, would there ever be a time when we will not have to go back and forth with this whole ASU thing in Nigeria?
Feels like Nigeria is a season movie. Episode by episode has been written down by the director. So
Who is the director here?
there are some things that have to go back. We have to go back to this.
It seems like this ASU
plot
federal
twists.
government will always be on the news for ages and ages to
Yeah,
come.
but I think that schools that have decided to leave ASU as a union have actually experienced more significant growth.
Yes.
In terms of graduating students, quality of
strike and all of those
education.
things.
I think the Lagos State University, for example,
Yeah.
actually took themselves out of ASU.
Yes.
And now you can confidently say, I spent 4 years in school,
Yes.
and not say I spent 10 years in
Yes.
school
7
doing
years.
nothing.
But then I think the impact will not be more on the students because they would have to now augment with their own, I think the fees become so exorbitant, they now have to pay so much. Isn't that the case?
Yes,
Yeah,
in
but
some
if-
cases, but
okay.
almost all schools are now increasing
Exactly.
their fees.
So whether you're in ASU
You're part
or
of
not,
ASU, you're not part of ASU.
I mean-
Fees are increasing. There's already inflation, so inflation spreads across.
I'm really looking forward to
Everywhere.
that time of the year, that time in this our lifetime, that ASU will not keep coming up with strike actions and inactions. All right, let's see what we have on the next paper.
So, taking you through the Guardian newspaper, we have the headline that reads, High cost of care hits public hospitals, uninsured patients. Hospitals insist deposit payment before care. Patients, caregivers stranded over 150% hike in costs. Patients explore cheaper, unsafe alternative herbal concoctions. And over 90% of Nigerians still have no health insurance. On the right-hand side, we have Northeast home to over 2 million uneducated children, says UNICEF. Below that, we have Nigeria recorded 75,000 new HIV infections in 2023, says NACA. Below that, we also have the story that reads, Shadow of presidential aircraft hangs over NAS emergency sitting today. And on cholera, Nigeria records 54 deaths, 1,579 cases in 32 states. And the last but not the least, the story reads, hundreds of APC members decry hunger, decamp to PDP in Ondo. Well, the story that catches my attention, I think I have more than one, but I will first start with the HIV infections.
Oh, okay.
They said 75,000 new HIV infections. If you take out 75,000 people, it's almost like an entire, like one community, like the whole
It's a
of one
half of
constituency.
Lagosians.
Exactly.
Sometimes I
Have
usually
HIV.
always doubt these figures that people bring out when
Well,
it comes to illnesses.
While that is arguable, it's also these things is
doesn't
just
take
like
out the fact
you have
that
to
it's
tell
existing
you
now.
have to tell a truth to be able to bring out a big lie.
Yeah.
The truth is that HIV exists.
Exactly.
It's rampant now.
Okay.
Just like the whole cholera thing that's happening. Cholera started from one state to 2 states. Now we
Yeah.
have
32
32
states.
states having cholera outbreak from one community to the other. And it just brings us to being careful about ourselves,
Yes.
so being self-aware. You are now suspecting every other person that is next to you when they offer you something
You're
out
now
of
checking their
yes,
drugs, they
out
have
of being
drugs.
gesture. You know, you're trying
Be
to
nice.
express yourself, but then I'm checking you out. Like, are you sure?
you're
What's the
sure?
nails? What's the eyes? What's the body doing?
Although I like you to talk about the story of the public hospitals that you said their fee has increased, because I think I can relate.
Yes, very
And
true.
then the fact that we Nigerians don't have HMOs.
Yeah.
Well, HMOs, I think that there's a lot of Nigerians that don't still know about HMOs.
HMOs, yeah.
Still, there are a lot of HMOs that are overly too expensive for the average Nigerian to
I agree.
afford. So the balance. I think
two
now
wicked.
the HMOs have to reason, how do we help the mass of the masses and not just target the middle class and the high class to offer HMO programs to? How do we ensure that the masses also get access to, these advantages, these benefits?
Yeah.
All right, we need to move quickly to the next paper because
Okay,
Okay.
I wanted to tell a story, but then let's move quickly to the next one.
Yeah.
Maybe during the course of this conversation. So I'll be taking the stories of the Vanguard newspaper and I have a couple of headlines. The major headline here reads, Cholera, federal government shopping for emergency vaccine. Right under it, I have the story that says, as Nigeria records 54 deaths, 5,079 cases. Then I have another one here that says, protesters want declaration of emergency in River State. And among all the headlines, I saw another one which says, insecurity, 2,600 killed, 50 communities recorded, 135 attacks in Benue, says Amnesty International. For more details, go to the pages of the Vanguard newspaper to read all the headlines.
All right, let's fly international.
All right, so New York Times, right? The right side of the newspaper, we have Kenyan tax rise, set of chaos and bloodshed. Parliament is breached after increased passes. Next to that, we have Israeli military is told to draft ultra-orthodox Qatar, a blow to Netanyahu. Top court 9-0 decision to break up his coalition cabinet. But the left side, we have a Trump benefactor with $100 million to spare. Widow of a mega donor is a pro-Israel hawk. Next to that, failing to heed threats to heat, death are mounting at major global event. Bottom left of the newspaper read, charged with justifying terrorism is a play that condemns it. Bottom right, which is the last headline on the newspaper, has obesity drugs changed lives until the state stopped paying. So really, because we don't have enough time, so I think I'd want to take this to tomorrow for us to have a proper discussion on it.
All right, that's where we wrap up the major headlines across the globe. We'll take a short break now, and when we return, we'll look through the hot topic for today. Today, we want to discuss the hookup economy, the hookup culture and economy. Very delicate topic, if I must say so. So remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all socials, be part of this conversation, and we really want to know what you're also saying about this topic. So stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome, viewers, to What Are You Saying? Ray's Breakfast, and we are still live. So today we want to discuss a very critical topic on the hookup culture and the economy. Wow, that's what I would say first of all. Wow, what a topic to discuss. But I mean, looking at it from a broader lens, it's something that is very prevalent in our society today. The whole hookup stuff. It changes. It keeps evolving with each time and each season and different people that come up, on board. So it says the hookup culture is its casual approach to relationships, and it's influencing everything from the booming dating app industry to how we spend money where we choose to live, and it's also raising serious concerns about the rise of trafficking and exploitation. So this is what I want to discuss with us ladies. When we talk about the hookup culture and the economy, if we put that word economy, it must make you feel like we're discussing something ambiguous. We're just shifting it to the economy, the government, and all of that.
9 to 5 economy.
Exactly. But we know that this impact, it goes deeper than just the economy or the nation at large. We're looking at, self, we're looking at values, we're looking at society, we're looking at, friendship, relationships, and all of that. My question is, how has this particular vice been able to, live and survive? there are different vices we see today that they still try to hide, right, and just go round and round and round. But this particular vice has even evolved. In fact, it takes up corporate look nowadays. Do you understand? And then, what has really made this particular one sustained in our economy today? I want us to start our conversation from that point of view.
Okay. It seems like everybody wanted
Everybody's
to say
taking
something.
a
I
deep
know
breath.
now.
And
We
taking
have
it
to
in.
hear yours first.
Well, I feel like if there's male and female, there's always going to be that thing that exists between them on the other side of it, which is what we have now. It's a business. It's now a venture. It has become an empire.
Yes.
Of how males and females, and it's not just women now, it's now men also, getting into the hookup economy.
Yeah.
And then, thriving. Actually, I think that's
Okay,
where the
that's
point-
the
that's
word.
where the, that's
Yeah,
the word.
yeah.
Thriving. Because if there's a business or there's a venture that is not thriving, it tends to die a natural death. But this is
Definitely.
thriving like very well. But I think that it's not, nobody did it except us. Nobody did it except we, no matter the government, whatever, we're still human beings. We made it thrive. Everything about it thrived through us. Let me not speak the wrong English. Yes.
Okay, I would say naturally, male and females, or let's say generally, we are transactional in nature. Either we want to accept it or not, we are all transactional in nature. You're giving me something because you're expecting something from me in return. It might not be immediately, but you're investing that in that at the time. Okay, let me give this person something so that, like they say, you're pouring water on the floor so you can step on a wet ground. So I think that was where the entire hookup thing started from, because it dates back to the days of fellas, it dates back to the days of our forefathers, right?
Yeah.
So I think hookup culture is now getting worse because nobody wants to do the legal work anymore. Nobody wants to do the 9 to
Hookup
5
culture
thing.
illegal.
I think in Nigeria it is, because there are times they pick up girls and they just park girls on the road. Well, in my area though. So I think in a way it is. Though the fact that something looks normal doesn't make it actually very correct, right?
Someone said.
You're
I don't
saying,
think
is it
it's illegal.
What do you mean by is it illegal?
I don't think it's legal yet in Nigeria.
When we use the word legal or illegal, you're trying
means
to
it's
refer
whether
to
backed by
legal
law or
backings,
not.
right? Is
That's
that
what
what
I'm
you're
saying,
trying to
yeah.
point out? Well, whether it's backed up by legal or not legal backings, is it right? Is this something that should thrive? The question I
Is
asked.
it wrong?
Okay.
God bless you.
Is it wrong?
Because literally, you can't just be looking at one side of the coin. You have to look both sides. You have to, flip it. Now, this is my take on this. Like you said, it's striving, and it's not striving because it wants to. And now I also hear you when you say, "Oh, it's to be human." But trust me when I say nothing happens. No, there's no reaction without an action.
Okay.
Right? So I won't just blame it on just people. I'll blame it on the government. I'll blame it on the person. I'll blame it on the family. It's everybody has their share.
Now,
on
to
this.
answer your question, in Nigeria, the legality of hookup activities can be complex and vary based on interpretations. Generally, casual sexual encounters themselves are not explicitly illegal, but solicitation for prostitution or involvement in sex work is prohibited by the law. Which
So does
means
that answer your legal and illegal question?
I knew right from the
be
beginning
honest,
it was
I
illegal. There was
wasn't-
no law backing it. Sex for money, sex for grades or anything, it is illegal. And the fact that people do it is because nobody wants to be in the nightmare space. Everybody just feels that we just want something. Like I've seen interviews with girls that they said one night they're making thousands of naira. They know how much they charge for their short time. They know how much they charge for overnight, and they're making money. So it's as good as, okay, use what you have to get what you want. It's that simple. So for me to want to work 9 to 5 for 20 days in a month, Monday to Friday, 20 days in a month, to earn 150K, why can't I just slip my way through and then get that 150K in a net? And then as you go higher, you go higher, you move from Lagos mainland to Lagos Island, from Lagos Island to, you wanted to go to Dubai to get maybe Brazilian boat lift or something. From Dubai, they go to Cyprus. That's how they move there. There are some countries that they go to. So everybody just wants to okay, I want to buy a Birkin bag. and I cannot buy with 9 to 5 money. So I
Okay.
think that was the origin of the entire thing.
She was saying something about
Okay.
right and wrong, and I believe that when it comes to social issues and social concerns, the question of right and wrong can be very controversial.
Exactly.
And right
That's what I'm
means
saying.
many things to different people, and wrong means many things to different. But even if we say it that way, it's just English we're using to pack all these
I did
things.
tell you. I did
What
tell
is
you.
right is right, and what is wrong
is
will always
wrong.
be wrong.
Yeah.
But people that want to argue and want to defend, or what's the word now, encourage whatever they are doing, will let you know. I mean, look at the LGBTQ community. If you stand with one of them and have a discussion with them, you will almost be thinking that probably this is, you know,
Very defensive.
exactly. So let's not discuss this hookup stuff, further. How has this really impacted and changed young people's life? Because we're talking hookup. Before we go to the millennials, 50 plus, I mean, young people are firstly affected by this. So how has it changed and impacted young people?
People don't want to work anymore now. It now feels like a 30 minutes pleasure gets me all I need
Gets
to.
me $1 million. I mean, why do I
It
waste my
even
time?
goes as far as, you're texting me, we're bargaining price, and, I'm telling you this is my charge for the night. So I know that the next day I'm living large, or I can afford a good food according to what the economy is saying.
Yeah.
You understand? So most people now don't want to work 9 to 5. Even the side hustle, they don't want to do it, because side hustle also involves some level of commitment and dedication. And then if you look at the whole hookup thing, all that happens between them is sex, right?
Yeah.
That's basically it.
That's basically it. It means that if as a girl I'm asking, if as a guy you're asking me to sex, I don't have to do any work. I'm not doing anything. Whatever it is you bring to the table is what will happen at that spot. If you do 1 hour, 10 hours, 30 minutes, that's what's going to happen. Do you understand? So I feel like nobody wants to go through the stress of, okay, I spent the entire day doing all of this, and at the end of the day, I have to wait till the end of the month. You understand? To get rewards. So it's just immediate gratification. Okay, we have done this. Give me. Moving on. People would even tell you, you're wasting my time. I have another customer.
So are you trying to say that economic stress and the economic situation of our nation is actually what's propelling the people to go?
it has a hand.
It has a hand.
It has
in
a
it.
hand.
I'm not saying that that's the general
It has
view
a
of it,
hand.
but I'm just saying that the fact that I have somebody that can offer me, it's just basic this thing. I know that you can offer me this money. Why would I go and do 30 days to get it?
And you talked about something the other time. You said rise in dating apps, rise in websites. There are
Yes,
so many
online,
websites right now. I don't want to start mentioning names. That you can just go there, maybe the next of Coded Room, and you just see girls, you see their expertise, what they can do sexual-wise, what they have not done. They will tell you if they are
What they are ready to explore.
What they are ready to explore. There's even ratings. There's 5-star, there's 3-star, there's number of clients they've dealt with. Well, maybe when I first came to Lagos, I used to say Lagos as Sodom and Gomorrah. Because what is this going on in this Lagos? Like, it feels like an
There
American
are
film.
particular places in Lagos that you will find them thriving.
It felt like an American film that I've seen before, and then it's playing out. Each time I go to probably Keja at night, and you're seeing all those
Keja,
girls on the road. You see from ICM down to Fela Shrine, you see all of them. And those ones I said, if you come to Island, VI access, you will see class by class. So I think it's a matter of how the nation is drifting. There's no justification for that.
But if we say nation, do you know that there are some people that are actually okay financially, and I think they are fine to some extent. They are probably working, they have something they are doing, yet they're still very much involved in these dating apps, hookup stuff and all.
Definitely.
So are you saying that
Definitely.
it is hunger or economic
trying
problem that is
to-
causing that? I really want us to separate
Apart
the
from
I am to add
hunger,
to that-
it's just maybe lack of. I want more.
Exactly.
There's no human nature. You always want more. If you started as customer rep, you want to become a manager some way, somehow. So there's always that thing. There's hunger for human. Like we humans were naturally hungry for in whatever space that we have. So if I'm earning 10 million naira now, I want more.
Yeah.
The only reason Dangote is doing refinery now is because he wants more. He
But
already
Boy
has
sang
sugar,
it
spaghetti,
now.
all of that. You will want more.
That's which we're going
I
to say
think
something.
I also to add to that, right? So sometimes it's not just about the money alone. I feel like most people are into hookup for probably like being addicted to sex.
Okay.
So yeah, because I mean, they would always want to look for somebody, or they always want to. I know of someone right? Okay, this is this is wishing
Touchy
to say. But I know of someone, right, that literally she has everything. She's okay financially, materially, and all of those things. But she still does this stuff, and now she does it in a more. Let me not use the word legal before she comes for
Then
me.
we
Right?
cannot tag it.
No, you cannot put it. Yeah, that's the thing. No, we can tag
Maybe
it hookup
hookup has
because this is
different
how.
variants too.
Yeah, this is it now. Because see, there's a platform, like she said, it is now a business, right? So there is somebody that is the boss that has other influential people that need girls.
Yeah.
So they literally have business ID. Who was I speaking to yesterday? I said these persons have business ID now. So what they need to do is to just go to the hotel and literally just show off their ID card that they are going to so room, and they'll be given free access.
Escorts, I guess.
They'll be given free access. So what am I saying? So it's not just about the money alone. Some people they just have this sexual desires, and probably some want to explore as well. So they always want to use that avenue to also get the money and at the same time,
I would say hookup is when you're doing it for the money. Right. If you're doing it for fantasies, you can always get friends with benefits, situationships to just do it for whatever. But the moment there's an exchange, there's hookup,
involved.
and there's escort. There are some girls that they call them escort. They follow all these top politicians around. To you, they are ushers, right? But in the regions, they are not ushers. They have less extension offices on the island. They have companies. They are looking, but that's just the front, right? Now let's go back to what actually prompts people. Who call I don't know, saying it feels somehow, but then
You have to say because that's what the world
feel like it's a
calls
normal
it.
thing right
it
now.
starts from the office space, because like you said earlier, you said it happens even in professional landscape. It happens there. There are situations. I know of a girl that works on this island. She drives a Venza. She stays on the island. She earns $115 a month.
Okay.
She later told us that okay, she's having a thing with her boss. So it starts from okay, my boss likes me, and it's just me and boss
the
and
boss
boss
pays her.
extra.
Okay.
Extra.
Increased
Hallelujah.
salary.
Right. The boss pays her really
There's always a
Increased
payer and
salary.
a payer.
And a payer. Come on.
So it happens between male and female bosses, it happens between female and female bosses, it happens between male and so. And like you said, there's stages. Some are on the road, some are online, right? Some are already on website, some are already going to going to Dubai. Some already have international clients. Some are here. That's all they do. I'm trying to remember the name they call them. Bucket girls or something. Some work at clubs. So everybody's just trying to do at different level, and we don't want to call ourselves out on what we do. So we don't just act normal. I have a lash extension shop, and that's what I do.
Come on.
We're going to take this conversation a step further to discuss the business of hookup. That business part, we want to delve into it after this short break. Remember that you can join us on this conversation. Drop your comment and your views on our YouTube page, on the comment section. Our YouTube is at Official Upgrade TV. You can also follow us on all socials or drop your comments as well on the WhatsApp number. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, viewers. It's Silway's Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? Today's topic is quite important and sensitive. We'll be discussing the hookup culture and the economy of it. Very, very stressed, topic like that. So previously, we've looked at, causes, the impact. We've looked at the dynamics of hookup. And then I remember that God's Beauty mentioned something about the business of it. She mentioned that people now have ID cards. Why are you looking at me? You said it.
No, it's true.
That people now have ID cards.
Truth.
And I remember some stories, we watch movies and we think that these movies are just trying to entertain us, but most of them depict real life instances.
Yeah.
We've watched movies where we see women, the big boss, right? Then they have girls under them. And these girls come in under the name of, okay, I just want to make a few money, just sleep with a few men, have some dollars in my account. But then it started extending into trafficking.
Yeah.
I know we're not stretching this. This actually happens. I mean, the other book we read from David, right?
Yeah.
He mentioned something like this in the story. So
Yeah.
it extends into trafficking. I mean, if a business like this can bring such danger, you think businesses like this should thrive? The hookup business. I mean, the danger that looms is terrible beyond what we're actually looking at. I know we can say there's right and wrong. People are just trying to follow their choices. They're mature. They're over 18. They're doing whatever they want to do. But there's the impending danger that is actually glaring at all of us. There's trafficking. Do you understand? So do you think businesses like this should thrive in this country? Should it even be mentioned that it's a business?
Okay, so people go into hookup for different reasons. There's for self-validation, there's for cultural evolution, there's for emotional fulfillment, some are avoiding commitment. Like you said behind the scene the other time, childhood trauma, what happened during our childhood, was he or she raped at any point in time, and there is convenience, there's social media peer pressure, there's display of words, wannabe, and all of that and all of that. Now, let's talk about NAPTIP, trafficking. When I was 7, my CDS was NAPTIP. National Agency Against People Trafficking and all of that.
Okay.
And there was a time we talked about girls that are being pimped. I think that's the word they use. They are being pimped. It starts from, number one, there are some girls that they started this thing unconsciously. Okay, especially, okay, I don't want to mention a tribe.
Okay.
There's, in the up north, there's some girls that they will take them to, okay, let's go to Oman, you work as an housemaid. Let's go to Abu Dhabi, you work as an housemaid. And from there, BBC even took a long report about girls that were stuck in Oman, they're stuck in Abu Dhabi and countries like that. So they leave their country all in the search for a better distance for their family back at home. They know they want to go and be housemaids, but when they get there to doing the other thing that they do not plan for. That's one. Unintentional labor, right? There's another one of, I want to make money. Okay, I have to join Madam Kinikon's cartel. I have to do it. She has plug to politicians. I'll do it for a period of, I'm trying to remember doing Shanty Town.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So there was, it happened between, is it Mercy or this big Nigeria house that they used? Yes, that she just joined for just a few period of time.
There's usually a contract that they have.
And it's always a contract. And before you know it, they already say you're owing security money, food money, level money, this money. And you end up having debt on your neck. So, okay, you only plan to do it for a month, and you end up doing it for 3 years, 5 years. At the end of the day, they end up killing some of them because they've had access to top politicians. That's another reason. Another reason is some ladies do it on purpose.
On purpose.
To make the money.
To make their
Make the money.
They know that they are down for anything. Right. Like you said the other time, some ladies also do it for exploration.
I think, yes, they do it to make money. But I don't think anybody wants to be trafficked. They do it to make money, and eventually some of them get into the hands of
The wrong
people that want to exploit them.
I
probably
look forward to
send
the
them
movie
elsewhere.
Oloture. Is that the
think
title?
that's-
I can't wait for that too.
The whole thing brings me to the story on the Punch newspaper that said how we killed commercial sex worker for ritual.
Oh my
I don't think
Jesus.
anybody actually, but that story, when I saw it this morning, I was like, this story is like, it knew that we wanted to talk about the hookup culture and the
HIV
economy.
thing you talked about, because I mean these are the issues.
Now, there's this thing in Nigeria that, especially between the popular Yahoo boys and the Pablos and Paplets, as they call them now, you know, that just because you are with me, I have no value for you as a lady. You understand? You just exist. You understand? To do this, whatever it is that I...
money and live.
Yeah, to do whatever it is I please. And then when it now comes to rituals, trafficking, and all, they always
didn't
target
mention that
the
ritual
vulnerable.
part. I was very
Yes,
focused
they
on the
always target the vulnerable one, the one that looks like the economy does not want them again, the one that looks like there's no family, they're already living a carefree life, nobody will miss them. You understand? And that's why this whole sex worker thing, why we killed sex worker for a commercial sex worker for ritual. Like, why? Why would you do that? But then they will still, defend themselves by saying that she came to their house. They invited her, but she came. And she's a sex worker, which means that what she did was illegal. So how do you defend, do you understand such a person when you know that it's illegal, number one, in Nigeria? Number two, you went there yourself. We still spoke about this thing where they say, what do you go and do in the boy's house that he now raped you?
yes.
That kind of
We had a
stuff.
comment from our Facebook from Ayobami. He said, I think it's an issue of values. Someone whose value is being chased won't engage in the hookup culture. It's just a case of people subscribing to the culture of easy and fast money. So these two cultures go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Right. Very
I
spot
agree.
on.
I
Ayobami
agree.
is very
Spot on.
spot on.
I agree.
I think that sometimes value also changes according to the kind of problems that we face still.
Do you understand?
Values are inherent. Values should not change. The reason they are called values is because this actually guides your life, irrespective of the challenges that you will face.
I get that, but I am still saying, like, I'm so sure that who you thought you were 5 years ago is not who you are
Okay,
now.
Kiki, let me ask you this question. We all went to university, right? And there are times in uni that we were broke and our parents probably didn't send
Yes.
this money. Why didn't you do it?
That's what I'm trying to say, that some people, I'm not generalizing here.
Okay.
I'm just saying that sometimes values can change. There's a possibility, there's always the left and right of things. There's never one side to a coin.
Yeah.
There's always the left and right of things. I can say that I have value, like where I was coming from, it's a pastor home or a Muslim home, and I get into school and I start to see different things. Influence is part of it,
Peer
but
pressure.
then
Peer pressure.
yes, but then they start to convince me that you still have your values. It has not changed. You can still do this and still remain. That is why they always put up a front that, okay, I'm doing this lash business. I'm doing this clothing business. But underground, you are doing a full-time hookup business.
Hallelujah.
You know, it doesn't. They'll still say that I have my values.
I
Yeah.
feel like we've been talking too bad about them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
say
let's
anything bad
let's
about
talk a little
anybody,
bit
oh.
about the benefits. It gets
Does it have benefit?
say that.
Oh yes, you are here trying
Shola,
to make
please
money
do
in
not
a
say
month,
that.
but then they are making the money overnight. They
Shola,
at the back,
please
they're
do
trying
not
to
say
take
that.
countries.
Should I now say this, right? With this thing I just said, it made me remember the story I was trying to tell.
Please
now,
tell it.
And it is not my story. I think a year ago, we had the whole Dubai thing. Oh, I want to go to Dubai. Let's go to Dubai. And it now came out that there are girls that because they're trying to make money because of the whole economic issue and all of those things, right? They now had to. There's these men that come, give the like they'll travel. The man will take them to what do you call it now, to Dubai. They go there. They sleep with dogs for $1 million.
And that's what there's benefit.
They'll sleep with dogs for $1 million. Now, not until each of them. I think there was one of the girls there that went and came back, and I think she contracted a virus or a disease rather from the whole sleeping with dog and all of those things. They could not cure her. No doctor, no hospital could take care of her. At the end of the day, she died. So what are you saying? The money, she herself said it, that all the money she earned. I think according to that story, she said she slept like with 2-3 dogs, and that's like $1 million, $1 million, $1 million.
So are you saying she didn't know the advanced effect of what she was doing before she started it?
These are the issues. These are the issues.
But
you
now
talked
we're
about
talking
value.
about
You talked about
even
value.
sleeping with dogs. There was a story where they were eating shit. Like that's the
God bless you.
That's the hookup thing.
We need to understand that before you go into hookup, you know what you're doing. You know, okay, this thing is a risky thing.
But
me standing on the road at night, I know that I might either get kidnapped, I might either get assaulted, policemen can come and raid me. I know that. Okay, me now graduated from the streets to island or to going to VIs and the likes of to open to see Lebanese, white guys, rich sugar daddies and all of that. I know that I'm going to their house. What if they just strangle me in there? I know all of this. So I'm taking this bold step. Okay, this is what I want to do. I am focused on my money. I am focused on, and I'm going for it. Do you understand? You are maybe the good girl move. Okay, let me
There's this traditionalist part of this.
There's some things that
where
you don't
they feel
overthink.
like
Just do
if I
it.
do this thing, if there's a way that they will concoct something for me, and that's what I will drink, and this will make me excel
Yes.
I
in
have
this
seen
hookup
this
culture.
over time with social
Yes.
issues, like I mentioned before. People would always argue on what's right and what's wrong. And I will always stand on this claim. You know what is wrong by looking at the consequences that follow.
Exactly.
If you look at hookup, there is no... What's the positive thing that you can bring
That's
from
what
there?
I'm telling her.
There
That
is
there's
nothing.
nothing beneficial, bro.
Consequences that
They
follow
know.
It is not beneficial.
outweighs whatever
They know.
benefits that you're talking
You are
of.
the one that said it's beneficial, no,
The good girl you does not want to look
May I
at.
not see the benefits of a terrible thing?
And honestly, if you look at, amongst the youth and young ones, you hear of mental health issues, people that are depressed, people that are committing suicide. Do you think some of them are not linked to intimate issues like this, because when you talk of hookup, I mean, there's some intimacy involved there.
Oh,
So
that
it can
reminds
spread to,
me.
the consequences are just inexhaustible. Honestly.
There are a lot.
Very
They're not
nice.
beneficial. Don't worry.
The boss of Conga also committed suicide
Yeah.
last night. I saw the story.
Very
That was,
sad.
and I think on a prime time show we talked about suicide and depression recently. A story popped up not too long ago. You talked about it earlier, where a lady said she was sleeping with dogs. She was using dogs to satisfy herself sexually, and then when the podcast came out, she killed herself. Right, that's part of suicide. But dates back to what happened when she was a child. She was assaulted as a child by female elder sisters, by male elder sisters, and it went on and 5, 6. She was already doing things that she never thought of doing, that she didn't have idea of. So unconsciously, she got addicted to sex. That men was not even enough for her. She wanted it every time. So we will not talk about hookup and just, okay, some people go to hookup because they don't have any choice. They feel like the world is not smiling on them. They feel like they are unfortunate in life. And there's some girls
do not agree with that.
There are some,
That's
I
where the
think
value
Uma
comes
once
in
said
now.
something that
The change of
she
values.
maybe a friend or someone assumed that everybody that would have helped her in life always wanted sex from her. No, that was a decision of rape. But there's some people like that everybody that would have helped them, both females or male, always wanted to have something to do with them. So when it goes on first time, second time, third time, some of them unconsciously have no choice. Look at all these actors, female actresses. They have no choice. Okay, I need a good role. I need to get to the spotlight. But everybody wants me to do this. Why do we have fruities, guys that do this? Because they feel like, okay, it's not working. Then let me just swing to the working side.
Not trying to be insensitive,
Okay.
but I'm really wary of people that use their background as an excuse to become whatever they end up becoming.
it's not-
I heard
it
this
can't
quote
be
that says that
justified.
Never say
Ba-
never.
I'm not trying to say.
Shebi, you're the one that said the value cannot change. And
I heard this quote that your background, the statement of my background, it ends when you clock a certain age.
Well, I'm not trying to encourage them, and I'm not trying to make
the idea
everybody
of
feel
always
like
using-
or
Is
judge
Is
them.
it by
No, face
adulting?
what is ahead of you now. Forget that background stuff and move ahead of you.
That's what I'm saying, that is it by adulting?
That's why as an individual, you now have to work on yourself. Because this one that you're saying now, some people don't still understand that. They don't know that. Do you understand what I'm
Sadly.
saying? Yeah, they don't know that. And that's why I would always agree with Kiki when she talks about the value shift and all of that. Because honestly speaking, you see, if Nigeria you, or if any issue that you have comes to you, bro, you won't have a choice. You won't even be thinking
No,
of that value
we
system.
all have choices.
See,
That's not true.
When they said-
if
when
we
they
say we
said-
all have choices, then at that point, the person.
When it comes to
may that not
economy and
happen.
society
Don't worry.
and
Say
times,
common
Don't
sense
worry.
is not common. When they say common sense is not common, you should know that it's not everybody that
has it.
So that value thing they're saying is not everybody. In this life, is not everybody. Some people
but
are
do you
tough,
know
some
that the
people are
world is
short.
not just starting now? We have had worse
I know,
problems,
but
worse
what
issues.
we're
in
talking
time
about
past,
it now
and
because
we've
it
had
has now
people
become a
come
thing
out
that
of
people
it.
talk about freely, like openly. That's my job. You can't do anything
I
about
believe
it.
we all have a choice.
Yes,
Nobody's
you
My
can
destiny
make
is
the
in
right
my
choice.
hands. There was a time this year that I
But
went
why
to
do,
try and
why would I
and
think
didn't
that
think
your
of doing
choice?
something
Why
bad.
would you might think that yes, everybody has a choice, but I might be thinking that that choice that I've made is
That's
my
on
right
you.
choice.
Yes.
Like it's my right
Exactly.
choice.
That is on you.
So back to the question of what's right and wrong.
By you.
Back to the question of what's right
By
and
you.
wrong. Not
By
by
you,
me.
you
right
might
and
tell
wrong.
you might tell somebody that is doing hookup now that what you are doing is wrong. But
But
this
in the
person
person's
will
eyes
argue
is
to
not
the-
seeing
But
it.
then that's the person's personal opinion
Perspective.
about that thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Value system. What do you think can actually change values of young people? Because back to what I'm going to stand on throughout the rest of this conversation.
Hell.
There is right, there is wrong. There's no how you want to camouflage it and want to, be petting some people or trying to be sensitive. There's right and there is wrong. So how can we inculcate the right values to young people especially?
Just let me go first.
Please.
On our primetime show last night, we talked about display of wealth.
Yeah.
Social
First
media.
thing, social media display of wealth. First, I think that should be banned or maybe reduced also.
The algorithm
Some
system.
regulations.
We've talked about
So
this
I
over
think
time.
that should be banned. You said, what do we do better? Number two, ladies or young girls should know the type of person they are following. You cannot be following the likes of Ciderboard and not want to think of breaking bank one
This
day.
is shaking
Or-
table.
Do you understand? So you should know the type of person to follow. Follow the right people. Then social media, you have the right to follow who you want, but you have the right, like yesterday, my algorithm was showing the video's wedding. I had to Change it. What's going on? Please put me AI, put me innovations. Let me see what's going on. Right. So your destiny is in your hand. Do better. If you feel like that's the best for you, honestly, that is not the best. And I'm not trying to be judgmental. Neither am I trying to encourage them, but it has a lot of harm than good.
So if I'm to add to what she said, yeah, I feel like, just like she said, the algorithm needs to be worked on, the social media, whatever. We've spoken about this over time.
Yeah.
Now, another thing is, I don't know why I always love going back to the family, because literally it's the basic unit before we even come out to the society.
Yes.
So, I mean, you spoke about the fact that the girl in question, it was her sister doing the whole thing, was her, you know, and all of those things. So we need to now go back to the family itself. I remember watching something on Instagram yesterday by Asi. I don't know if you guys know her. She's one interesting person I love listening to, right? So she was talking about how she was accused of molestation, even when she's actually the one being molested. Like she was the victim, but they're not telling her that she's the one doing it to another person. Just imagine that. So it just boils down to having a stable family, because she was according to her story, right? She was always, she and what do you call her now? Her siblings are always been dropped at other people's houses because her parents are always traveling for their own business thing. So it just boils down to the kind of family style, the kind of parenting that we have now. So I think we just need to be intentional about what we instill to our children. We have to make them, see, it's not enough to now tell them, okay, this is right or this is wrong. Make them have the good value, how to stand on their own, make the right choices. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because when they are able to do this, when they are able to know what is good and what is right, let me stick to a sweetheart.
Yes,
when they're able to know, once they're able to know what is good and what is right, I feel like when life now pushes them, they are able to stand on their ground and know what to do and what not to do. So yeah.
Also, I agree with
What do you have to say, Okiki?
Well, everything that you both have said will always lead me to being self-aware. I think being self-aware is very important.
Yeah.
And even if your value changes, you already know that this is me. I am born to thrive. I'm born to excel.
Positivity.
I know that positivity that,
Love it.
okay, this situation is happening right now. Everybody is doing it. There are some times that you're in a hostel where everybody is doing it and
Yes,
you're the only
Friday
one that
night,
comes with
everyone's
your
downstairs.
Bible, you know, reading Bible with your full chest. And at some point, they want to, you know, get you into it,
Influence
especially
you.
when you now have the kind of body that sells
market.
in that kind
Come
of
on.
business. So it's just being self-aware that no matter what happens, you know, I am going to stick to, you know, being self-aware of the person that I want to become. Full stop.
Being
Love it.
self-aware. I would reiterate what I said the other time. The idea of we really need to understand. See, grow out of the whole my background. We really need to grow out of that, because people will always give excuses to why they are doing certain things. If you interview some of these people that are involved in hookup or involved in this kind of lifestyle, deep down you would know that they are not happy doing it.
I
So
agree.
even if the money is what's pushing
Coming
them
in.
to do it, they are not
Motivation.
happy doing this. So I believe that human beings, if we are going to be sincere to our inner mind and what really makes up us, you will know that you know what is right, you know what is not right.
Yeah, the scripture talked about
You
it
will
already.
just know what is not right. So on social media as well, I'm really hoping for the day when the right things will be amplified, like super amplified, over the negative, over the bully that we see, over the extravagant lifestyle that we see. And maybe one day it will start affecting how, it will start addressing our mindsets and we become, you know, better human beings as a whole. We have to take a short break and we're still going to talk about this just a little bit more and then end it. So you can always join this conversation. I know you have something to say. Do not put it in your chest. Please type it, send it on our YouTube, page, on our Instagram, wherever. Just send it and we're going to say it out here on the table. All right, we'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll continue. Stay with us.
You know how I always say that people, you just get pregnant, you have a child, and you think you're automatically qualified to be called a parent? No. parenting is it requires a lot of skill. And it's the same thing with family, right? Handling a family unit, it requires a lot of capacity, because part of the biggest challenge that we have today as a people is because we have fundamental problems in the home. The child was not raised properly, takes it out on work, takes it out on colleagues, takes it out on the society, it's the same thing. So that's why you need to really have well-rounded, well-balanced people right from the family unit, yeah.
All right, we are back on the show. What are you saying? Where's breakfast? Forgive my shenanigans. We're talking about the hookup culture and economy, and we've heard that some of you have been trying to place a call through to us. We're sorry for the network issue, but you can keep trying, or change over to sending a message to us, and we're going to read it here. Back to the discussion, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's no gentlemen here. Forgive
Come
me.
on, gentlemen, come on.
Please. Oh, to the ones behind the scene, the gentlemen listening. So I heard someone say that should we now be very cautious of young people spending their money extravagantly? How should you view people that spend their money so extravagantly? Should you have something in your mind that is, suspecting and wondering? What do you have
The
to say
truth
about
is
that?
that if I have money, you will know. I'm very sorry. Because
Kiki has
now that I'm
announced.
broke, you know. You
No,
know.
you
So
can't
when
say
I
that.
have...
So you're broke like this?
Yes, so...
With this glow?
Yes, with this economy.
Let's just ignore her, because I don't understand.
Now
I
that
don't
I'm broke,
understand.
everybody knows.
Hey.
When I'm rich, you will know. I might not be extravagant about it, but something will tell you. My speech,
We'll tell her that.
So
The
would
kind
it
of-
be good to generalize and, when we see some young ladies that are very extravagant, you see their fashion is top notch, the cars they drive and everything, would it be good to actually generalize and then put them under this one is doing hookup?
No.
Because
That's
we
very
see
wrong.
it happen in
There are
our
people,
society.
sorry, my love.
Sure, go ahead.
There are people that actually love showing off, not because of they're trying to please people, probably because of the way they look. They like this whole flashy thing. So you can't just box them into, and this will be like a hookup you don't do. No, you can't do that, right? Now, using me, for example, I love cars.
Which woman?
Don't do
Which
that.
woman?
If I show you my account balance, it is red. Let's not go
don't
there.
mind
Right?
us.
So I love cars. So I know for sure that if I'm to have money to get cars, I definitely would get
a
something
luxurious
that is shouting God's
The pink
beauty.
color Lexus.
Nah, not pink. I love black, but I mean,
Okay.
a Prado would do the job.
Okay.
You understand? A Lexus. Let's not go there.
Sponsors on TV.
Hallelujah. But you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But I will not show it with my outfit, because I'm not really like the go and put on this clothes, go and put on this clothes. Look, nah. But my car should be doing the talent. My phone should be doing. Do you get what I mean? So I'm more of the gadget kind of thing. Like wherever I'm like carrying is giving you this baby has money, but you might not see it with what I'm wearing. So you will not box me into this one, but like saying I hook up and then they do. Nah.
Well, there are two sides to this thing. I like to talk about a person. I oftentimes call the person a life coach, a mentor, and everything. This
Okay.
person always tells me that the eye you use to view something is based on you. If I'm using my phone and you're seeing my phone like this, and you think of me as, she has a sugar daddy somewhere, it's actually the eye you're using to look at me that, okay, you
Your
don't expect
perspective,
me.
your
Yeah,
opinion.
so the perspective is on you. I'm
Yeah.
using a good phone, that's all. It's, I don't owe you an explanation about where I got my phone from. And the other side of it is that, to be honest, unconsciously, when we see people spending extravagant, we start to think that, okay, for your age, you're not supposed to have this type of car. For how young we are, especially with the guys, it's very common with guys. When guys drive this particular, even on the road, they'll start thinking, when they drive roughly, or maybe when men drove wrongly to their own lane, they start to say, "Yao boy ni." Do you understand? So I think it's based on how the society has already positioned everybody.
Yeah.
I'm driving on the road. You're seeing me as this girl, she has a sugar daddy, or her boyfriend is wealthy. Why do you want to think I can make my money myself, right?
Right.
So it's the eye you're using to look at it, and then how society position
To
everybody.
quickly add into what she just said, there are people that actually, the way they look at you is what they are doing themselves. That's why they're looking at you
Another
like
angle.
that. Yeah.
All right, this particular conversation is inexhaustible. It's been a very great time at the studio here, and tomorrow again we'll continue 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Ways Breakfast. Be with us tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.